Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 7, Minagoroshi. So, last episode, I thought we were gonna see more of the protest, right? With Keiichi, with a lot of people, but instead, what we got was Keiichi and his father attended the meeting for the Watanigashi festival, and later on, he talked with Uishi a lot, right? And then that conversation with Uishi gave Keiichi a little bit of doubt on if he wanted to continue this protest or not, right? So in today's episode, let's see. Let's see if Keiichi, continues this, and yeah, if there are any consequences or not, right? So let's go. Let's begin. Continue. And where are we gonna start from? Are we gonna go straight there? Are we gonna go... Okay, we're gonna start from the school, I guess? Okay, and Satoko is here. So what's gonna happen now? Are they still gonna go? The Child Consultation Center finally contacted Satoko's uncle after finding out she was missing from school for 3 days in a row. I am sure it was because of our efforts that Satoko was able to come to school today. However, we couldn't really celebrate after seeing her painful expression. Yeah, like Satoko was pretty much always cheerful, right? And look at this. What can you even do? What can you even say? Like, it's nice that she's coming to school now, right? But still, you can see that she's, yeah, broken.
Satoko, 本当に心配したんだぞ。
この3日間、本当に何事もなかったんですか？3日間熱が下がらなかったんですの。ご迷惑をおかけしましたわね。
She started telling us why she hadn't been at school. Nobody had even asked her that.
多分、おじさんからそう答えるよう強く脅されてるんだと思う。あんな姿痛々しくて、なんだか悔しいくらいだよ。
Rana seemed more angry than sad. Inside, I felt the same way. It felt like my anger was boiling up and lodging painfully in my throat. He was only letting Satoko come to school because he was now certain that she wouldn't do anything that would put him at a disadvantage. He was treating her like a tamed animal. Was it too late already? I thought of the broken Satoko I once saw in my imaginary world.
Satoko, お前はよく頑張ってるな。
当然ですわ。ニーニーがいなくても、私は一人で頑張れますもの。
I slowly reached out my hand toward her head.
お前がよく耐えて頑張ってるご褒美に頭撫でてやる。嫌か？
She didn't reply, but she didn't refuse either. I slowly put my hand on her head. She didn't react to it, but a tear rolled down from her eye all of a sudden. Was she crying because she didn't want to be touched? No, that wasn't it. Rather, it was the opposite. If I stopped patting her head, I'd hurt her feelings. Satoko felt obligated to survive without her Nini. But that didn't mean that she didn't want anyone else's help. She couldn't appreciate my patting her head openly, so Satoko had no choice but to cry in silence.
さとこちゃん、今は泣いても誰にも言わないよ。
And after Rena said that, Satoko started crying like a baby. I felt relieved knowing that it wasn't too late. She hadn't yet suffered from the fatal emotional wound that I saw in my imaginary world. However, her tears made it clear that I need to save her as soon as possible, no matter what the world might say to me.
さとこ、 きっとみんなが助け出してくれますのです。きっとなのですよ。
さとこ、ぼんやりしてたわけじゃないんだよ。ね、ケイちゃん。
おう、俺たちはな、児童相談所に訴えてるんだ。あのおじの野郎の非道から聡子を一刻も早く助け出してほしいってな。
そんなことしてくださらなくても結構ですのに。
俺たちだけじゃねえぞ。なあ、富田君。
僕だけじゃないです。岡村もクラスのみんなも戦っています。
そうだよ。僕たちクラス全員で相談所に押しかけてるんだ。もちろん今日も行くよ。ねえ、前原さん。
ああ、聡子を救い出せるまで俺たちはくじけないもんな。
All the boys and girls in class answered my call with their cheers. Satoko seemed a little surprised, but then soon became expressionless again.
だから相談所の方が来ましたのね。余計なことをなさらなくてもいいのに。
さとこ、ひょっとして相談所の人が来たことによってあいつから何かいじめられたりしたんですか？
She wouldn't answer. I couldn't tell what that silence really meant. Soon after, Chie-sensei entered the classroom.
北条さん、体の具合はもういいのですか？
We didn't know for sure if she was really sick or not. All of us, including Chie-sensei, were feeling the same thing.
ええ、おかげさまで。本当にご心配をおかけしましたわね。もう平気ですのよ。
これからはちゃんと学校に来られそうですか？
ええ。だから本当にもうご心配なさらなくていいんですのよ。相談所の人になんか言わなくていいんですのよ。
北条さん、もし本当に辛くなった時は先生のお家へいらっしゃい。先生は北条さんの味方ですからね。いつでもいらっしゃい。そこで先生だけに美味しいとこを持ってかれちゃたまんないね。さとこ、ここにいる私たちは全員味方だよ。そうです。さとこもぜひ私のマンションに遊びに来てください。
Yes, you can go to Shion's apartment. You can't go to Mion's house though.
余ってる部屋もありますから、さとこのプライベートルームにしちゃっても全然 OK ですので。
Or you can just go back to Rika.
ダメです。さとこは僕の家で飼ってるのですから、早く僕のお家に帰ってこないとダメなのですよ。
Honestly, I quite forgot that, yeah, Rika was pretty much our main protagonist in this chapter, right? Like half of this chapter, or yeah, on the beginning, I mean, at least, right? We were with Rika most of the time. And then we shifted to Keiichi. I kind of forgot about that, not gonna lie.
みぱー。
なあ、聡子は一人ぼっちなんかじゃない。みんながお前を助けようと今必死になっているんだ。
But I don't know if people at the Child Consultation Center will ever understand how we feel. If what Uishi-san told me yesterday was true, then once they learn this isn't the will of all Hinamizawa, once they learn it's only her classmates creating a stir, they might harden their stance against us. All we had planned was to go there with more people and ask for the same thing. The Child Consultation Center was going to say the same thing to us too. It wasn't going to be any different from yesterday. They'd tell us that it's only normal for her uncle to take care of Satoko because he's legally her guardian. They'd also tell us that there's no proof of any abuse happening. And why do they think that? Because Satoko won't admit she's being abused.
お気持ちだけで十分ですのよ。本当に大丈夫ですから。嘘だよ。
Yes, you're lying. Rena spoke with a smile, but her words cut sharp.
さとこちゃんは大丈夫なんかじゃない。さとこちゃんはみんなを騙しきれてなんていないよ。ここにいる全員が、いや、もっともっと大勢が、さとこちゃんが苦しみ、悲しんでいることを知っているよ。だから私たちは、さとこちゃんを助けるために、立ち上がって精一杯頑張ってる。悲しい沼に胸まで浸かりもがいているさとこちゃんにみんなで手を差し伸べている。でもそれだけじゃさとこちゃんを救えないの。
そうなんだ、サトコ。相談所側は俺たちの言い分に耳を貸しつつも、サトコ本人が虐待を否定するから虐待はないの一点張りなんだ。俺たち全員がサトコを救いたいと思っても、サトコが受け入れてくれなければ救えないんだ。
私とても昔に逆の立場だったことがあるの。どうせ誰にも自分は救えないと、自分が今していることが最善手だと、そう思い込んでいるから仲間が差し伸べてくれる手を受け入れられないの。でもその時、顔も思い出せないけど、ある人が言った。本当に選びたかった世界はすぐそこにある。でもそこへ至るには、向こうのみんなとこちらの自分が互いに手を伸ばし合わないとダメなの。私たちだけが手を伸ばしても意味がない。だからさとこちゃん、あなたも手を伸ばして。それで互いに手をつかみ合って、初めて私たちは元の世界へ戻れるんだから。レナ、それを誰に？覚えてない。
I don't remember.
きっと幼稚園よりも小さい頃なんじゃないかと思う。
Did you say that back then? I don't remember.
いつどこで誰になんて覚えてない。でもその時の気持ちを私は今でもはっきりと思い出せるの。あの時の気持ちがあったから今日の私がある気がするの。
そうだな。レラに言ったそいつは間違ってないぜ。サトコは今助けを求めないのが強さだと思い込んでる。それが最善手だと勘違いしてる。いいか、違うんだ。自分の顔を鏡で見てみろ。それが望んだ世界を掴んだ顔か。違うだろ。サトコはこんな世界、心のどこにも望んでなんかいない。俺たちはサトコを元の世界に連れ戻せる。そしてその手を伸ばしてる。その手はサトコの鼻先のところまで伸びてるんだぜ。だがあともうわずかが届かない。届いてりゃ髪の毛を踏んづかんででも引っ張り出してる。だがそのわずかが届かないんだ。だから掴め、お前が掴め。手を伸ばしても誰にも届かないから観念するなんて言わせねえぞ。お前の鼻先に俺の、いや俺たちの手があるんだよ。だから掴むんだ。手を伸ばすだけでいい。あとは俺たちが元の楽しかった世界へ引っ張り上げてやるから。
Satoko wouldn't reach out her hand, I mean, sorry. She just stared at mine as though praying for something. Her fingers were shaking, but Satoko wouldn't try to reach her hand toward mine. I felt like screaming out in anger, but I didn't want to scare her. I mean, yeah, it can be frustrating when you really want to help someone, right? But they don't accept it. But yeah, you just gotta understand, right? Like what this person is going through. That's the thing. Give them time. If I did that, she'd never trust me again. All I could do was to wait for her to reach out her hand.
ありがとうですわ。本当にありがとうございますですわ。でも、本当に平気ですのよ。本当に。さとこ。
Like she's saying, I'm really am perfectly fine, but yeah.
もう少し時間がいるんだよ。
She needs to cry. She needs to let it out. Satoko needed time to sort out her feelings, but her time limit was getting closer and closer. It was unfortunate that Satoko didn't even realize that herself. The next moment we heard someone approaching her classroom. By the sound of the footsteps, we could tell that it was the principal. And so, I couldn't tell why Satoko was twitching like she just got electrocuted. The door quickly opened and the principal strode inside. He seemed relieved to see Satoko back in school. However, Satoko reacted both dramatically and bizarrely. She let out an inexplicable scream, ran back to the classroom, and hid behind the curtain. No one in the classroom could understand her actions. We never even considered that it was because the principal had entered the room. The principal, however, realized it immediately. Is it because, yeah, the principal is an older man? Maybe she thought it was Teppei? Is that it? Satoko was scared to see him.
北条くん、大丈夫かね?
He spoke in a kind voice, but Satoko was still afraid. It was plain as day to all of us that Satoko was frightened at the sight of the principal, but none of us could understand why.
大丈夫か、サトコ。何も怖がることなんてないぞ。ここには味方しかいない。
おじが。
Okay, so it is, she thought it was Teppei. Yeah. Everyone here thought for sure that Satoko's uncle had shown up to get her. We all rose up and shielded Satoko in a circle and searched the surroundings. I had yet to see her uncle's face, but we were in school now. If someone unfamiliar showed up, I could spot him immediately. If he tried to force Satoko to leave, then forget everything else. I'd end the fight right here. Mion and Shion are thinking the same thing. However, while Satoko remained frightened, we couldn't find any sight of her uncle. Satoko was trembling as if he was already here inside her classroom, but there was no sight of him. Finally, I realized the truth. Satoko was frightened by the figure of the principal. I could understand that she'd be scared of his footsteps, but she was still terrified after he showed his face. That was not normal. It was made clear to me how much stress Satoko was dealing with. Rika-chan hushed Satoko and whispered into her ear.
大丈夫ですよ。おじはいませんです。意地悪なおじはいませんですよ。でもそこにおじが。私を連れ戻しに来たんですわ。落ち着くのですよ、サトコ。今日のお注射はちゃんとしましたですか？おじが
注射？ で、何の話だ、リカちゃん。
Honestly, I completely forgot that. Yeah. Because she was getting worse even back then, right? And now, with her not taking her shots, she's gonna be much more, what do you call this? Much more worse.
圭一、急いで入江を呼ぶのです。
Yeah, they need to go to Erie now.
聡子が大変だと言えばわかりますです。早く。知恵、聡子を保健室に運びましょうです。どうしたの、聡子ちゃん。聡子ちゃん。
とにかく監督を呼ぼう。医者に見せるしかない。で、誰か監督のところの電話番号はわかるか？
私がわかるよ。職員室の電話を借りよう。
I headed to the nurse's office after asking Mion to make a phone call to the doctor. There were lots of students surrounding the office. Chie-sensei was forcing out the other kids who had entered the room with him. I snuck behind her and entered myself. Satoko was lying down on the bed, still shaking with fear. Rena and Rika-chan were there with her and were trying to calm her down. I spoke quietly as not to scare Satoko.
サトコは大丈夫なのか？どうしたってんだ、一体。
よくわからないけど、とても怯えていて、校長先生の姿がおじさんに見えたみたいなの。
Hearing that made it easier to understand, but it was still hard to believe. He had been right in front of us and had spoken to her in such a kind voice. It was really hard to believe that she couldn't tell that it was the principal.
壁に黒い点が一つあったら、圭一やレナはそれが何に見えますですか？ハエが嫌いな人ならきっとハエだろうと思いますです。雲が嫌いなら雲に、ゴキブリが嫌いならきっとゴキブリに見えますです。人は識別のつかない何かがあった時、無意識のうちに一番自分にとって嫌なものでないことを確認しようと強く意識するのです。聡子ちゃんは近づいてくる校長先生の足音を聞き、とっさにおじさんを思い浮かべたということ？
でも校長が実際に姿を現してもまだ怯えていたぜ。
その誤解がすぐに解けなくなるのが聡子の病気なのです。
What does she mean, illness? I tried to ask Rika-chan, but Sadako was becoming even more frightened. Rika-chan held her hand gently and tried to calm her down. Rena tapped my shoulder. She was indicating to me that we should leave Rika-chan and Satoko alone in the room. I agreed with her, so Satoko was in tremendous shock.
じゃあ俺たちは教室へ戻ってるよ。
お願いしますです。
Rena and I left the nurse's office. My classmates were still asking Chie-sensei about Satoko's condition. As soon as they saw me, they walked over and asked how she was.
みんな、とりあえずはリカちゃんに任せよう。サトコは今とても怯えやすくなってるんだ。だから怖がらせないようにしてやってくれ。多分ここで騒いでいるのもサトコには怖く感じるんだと思う。
教室へ戻ろう。きっとすぐに監督が来て様子を見てくれるよ。みーちゃん、連絡は取れたんだよね？
うん。大至急来てくれるって。それまではリカちゃんに任せて安静に。 絶対に保健室から出さないようにだってさ。はい、皆さん、教室に戻りなさい。朝のホームルームを始めますよ。
While the teacher took her attendance, a car arrived in the school premises. Everyone's attention was drawn to it. 3 people with white gowns came out of the vehicle. Is it, what do you call them again? The Yama Inu? What do you call that? Takano's, wolves? Not wolves, but what do you call her? Attack dogs? Irie ran into the school in a hurry. We were surprised to see 3 people show up. It made us all worry that Satoko was in worse shape than we'd realize. Chie-sensei felt the same way. I mean, of course. She left the class to Mion and hurried to the nurse's office. Despite her worry, Satoko returned to school, or to the classroom, about 10 minutes later. She was still depressed as she was in the morning, but she was no longer in a state of panic.
さとこ、もう起きて大丈夫なんですか？もう少し休んでてもいいと思います。ご心配をおかけしましたわね。もう平気ですのよ。
さとこちゃん。
Satoko seemed bothered by the way we were worrying about her. Chie-sensei also returned to the classroom at the same time, so I snuck out so I could talk to Irie and the staff. I saw him talking with Rika-chan.
監督、サトコは本当に大丈夫なんですか？
前原さん。ええ、とりあえずは大丈夫です。しばらく様子を見てあげてください。
ちょっとした発作なのです。もう大丈夫なのですよ。
発作って、そういうもんなのか？そういえば、さっきも保健室で、サトコのことを病気だ、みたいなことを言ってたけど。
では、私はこれで失礼します。何かあったら、また呼んでください。
Coach bowed and left without making any comment. It was like he was avoiding my question about Satoko's condition.
圭一、誰にも内緒と約束できますですか？
え？ああ。
さとこは数年前からちょっとした病気なのです。ずっとその治療を受け続けていますです。
It was surprising to hear that. That meant she was already sick when I first met her. I'd never seen any sign of that though.
その病気は簡単には治りませんが、ちゃんとお薬と治療を受けることで普通に生活することができるのです。
そうなのか？でも、だったら問題ないじゃないか。リカちゃんに打ち明けられるまで、サトコが病気にかかってるなんて考えもしなかったもんな。あれだけ元気に過ごせるなら、それで十分だよ。
She was hardly in a good condition, so that makes me hesitant to use the word fine. What kind of disease could Satoko have? Based on what I saw earlier, she might have a mental illness rather than a physical one. It might be because of how she was abused in the past. I've heard that mental trauma is not easy to cure and it needs medical attention at times. That must be what's going on with her.
さとこは実は 毎日2回のお注射をしなくてはいけない体なのです。ですが、朝からいろいろとおじに意地悪をされていたせいで、今朝のお注射を忘れてしまったようなのです。
それはつまり注射を1本忘れると聡子はあんなに怯えてしまう状態になるということなのか。
Rika-chan nodded quietly. Really, it was quite a shock. The Satoko I know is an energetic and mischievous girl who is always bouncing around like a Super Bowl. I couldn't believe that she turned into a scared little animal just by forgetting to take a shot.
注射を忘れると、聡子はとても怖がりになってしまうのです。すると、何かが起こったり、聞こえたり、現れたりするだけで、それらが聡子に危害を加えようとしているように感じてしまうのです。
つまりさっきの場合は校長の足音を聞いておじが学校に乗り込んできたように感じたというわけだな。
そうです。聡子の場合は、その足音をおじだと思い込んだら、そうなってしまうのです。校長が顔を見せて優しく語りかけたとしても、聡子の中ではその人物はもうおじになってしまったので、何を言おうとおじが言っているように聞こえてしまうのです。
さっきリカちゃんはその誤解が解きにくくなる病気だと言ったな。嫌なことと思い込んでしまったら誤解が解けない病気か。なんて病名か聞きたくもないな。気の毒だぜ。それにそんな病気と戦いながら今日まで頑張ってきたんだな、あいつ。
でも圭一、どうかこの病気のことは聡子には言わないであげてほしいのです。
Why not? I guess I shouldn't ask. It might not be a nice thing to talk to her about mental illness. I guess that's what she's trying to tell me.
聡子はさっき教室に戻ってきたが、もう平気なのか。
とりあえず入江が聡子のお注射を持ってきてくれましたので、もう大丈夫です。
She's seriously sick to the point where she requires a doctor's attention. I realized something in the next moment. Okay, what happened?
だ、聡子が急病で倒れたってことにして入院させちゃうのっていい手だったとは思わないか。
We can force her to stay in a hospital even if she refuses. That way we can save her from her uncle. Yes, that's a great idea.
もちろん、それは入江が提案しました。
But maybe it probably made it worse, right, if she stayed in a hospital?
ですが、聡子が断ったのです。
聡子が断るとか断らないとかの問題じゃないだろう。
圭一、聡子が家に帰らないと、ニーニーの部屋を片付けられてしまうのだそうです。
And that as well, yeah, I guess.
何？
聡子にとって北条の家はサトシが帰ってくるまで守らなければならない場所なのです。
He was taking advantage of her? Teppei was telling her that he'd get rid of Satoshi's room if she didn't stay with him.
汚ねえ野郎だ。
圭一、他のみんなには言わないでください。C は感情を抑えるのがうまくないので、知ったら短気を起こしかねませんです。
She brought up Shion, but I was also furious about it. I had to calm down though. I needed everyone's help in order to save Satoko. I couldn't ruin everything by acting foolishly. I had no time to stop.
くそ！聡子が助けてと一言でも言ってくれりゃどうとでもなるのに。
Just because she hadn't asked didn't mean she didn't need it. As her friends, we had to help her. Especially after learning that he was controlling her by trying to get rid of Satoshi's room.
いや、そのサトシの部屋を片付けられてしまうってのを話したのこそ、サトコの明白な SOS じゃないのか。助けてと直接言えないサトコが遠回しに発した明白な助けだ。
Rika-chan nodded slightly.
圭一、聡子を助けるために残された時間はもう長くはないのです。
That I was all too aware of. She had a panic attack just because she didn't take her shot this morning. She stayed in her current environment. It'd be too late to save her in a matter of days. I saw her future when I saw Satoko crying behind the curtain this morning.
今日で3日目だ。人数はすでに初日の10倍以上に膨れたが、まだまだ行くぜ。
圭一、聡子を救うのは簡単なことではないのです。これまでに何度も試してきて、一度たりとも成功したことはないのです。
そうなのか。
圭一は覚えていない話です。でも今回の圭一は違う。今までに一度も見たことのない方法で、あと一歩で聡子を救えるところまでこぎつけていると思いますです。僕は圭一が運命なんてあっさりと破ってしまえる力のある人間だと信じています。
What did she mean when she said I didn't remember? I didn't have time to ask questions though.
ああ、そうだな。運命なんて俺があっさり打ち破ってやるぜ。
Okay, so... Okay, they still went there. Okay. I thought it's gonna be cancelled. Like, oh, Satoko's back. So maybe let's not continue anymore. But here they are. A huge crowd had formed in front of the library. It was hard to believe that over 50 people had assembled in front of such a quiet place. Kamida's here.
今日は面白くなってきたぜ。今日のリーダーの前原さんだ。挨拶しろ。
ボス、こんにちは。
Kamida-kun had brought a bunch of athletes with him. They were all very tall and full of spirit. Being greeted by a bunch of big people at once made me feel uncomfortable. Whoops, I shouldn't feel so intimidated. The commander can't act bashful in front of his troops. Following after them were our nameless comrades who sympathized with our plight at Angel Mort yesterday. The Otaku Squadron. I hate to say it, but I never expected any of them to actually show up. Seeing them all here to support us made me feel glad. They seemed plenty pumped up too, raising up fervorous cries and shrieks. Kamida-kun did so much for me. He brought not only his teammates but also people from Angel Mort. I couldn't thank him enough.
水臭いぜ、ケイ。俺たちはエンジェルモートの義兄弟っすよ。
Kyodai.
デザフェに行った連中の噂だと、夏の新デザート、恥じらいの青い果実サンデーが最高にいいらしいっす。
Innocent Blue Sunday.
この夏は一緒に青い果実をむさぼり食いに行きましょう。
ケイチ君。
Oh, Tomitake. Dude, the last time you saw Tomitake was when they were doing the meeting, right? Yeah, it's been such a long time.
今日はすごいね。これを全部君が一人で集めたのかい？
こんにちは。
And here comes Miss Suspicious.
ここまでとは思わなかったわ。やるわね。
竹さん、高野さん、どうしてここに？
あ、レナは知らなかったか。昨べの祭りの実行委員会の席でね、今日への参加を表明してくれたんだよ。確か監督も来るはず。
お待たせしました。遅れて申し訳ございません。留守番のスタッフへの引き継ぎに手間取りまして。
監督、それすごいすごい。
Coach had brought some sashes, headbands, and banners with him. He was so well prepared. The sashes and headbands read, "Save Satoko Hojo, and the consultation center must take action immediately." They were perfect for a protest, but yeah, we got adults finally right on their side. But it's not I guess the locals of Hinamizawa, right? It was Irie, Takano, and Tomitake. Pretty much, I guess you can say, I mean, what do you call this? Irie and I guess Takano, right? Lived here for maybe a couple of years, right? But they were not really locals. When locals, what I mean by locals is the Sonozaki family, something like that, right? So I guess for them, it's okay to join the protest. And Tomitake, they always say Tomitake was only here when Watanagashi is coming closer, right? He had brought lots of extras along too. Takano-san and Shion handed them out to other supporters.
なんていうのか、監督のこういうセンスが私大嫌いなんですけど、でも今日はちょっと見直してます。しかしこういうアイテムもいいね。ここにいる60人は全員に面識があるわけじゃない。でも同じ鉢巻きやタスキを身につけることで同じ目的を持った仲間だと分かり、連帯感も育めるからね。
こんなのを身につけるとダム戦争の時代に戻った気がするよ。鉢巻きやタスキをしたひなみ沢の人たちは無敵だったんだ。誰が相手でもひるまなかった。
Even kids from Okinimiya were willing to wear the headbands. It was like we were supporting a baseball team.
さ、リカさんもぜひ。これだけの数を作るのは苦労したんですよ。
入江、
私も自分ができることを惜しみませんよ。さとこちゃんを助け出すために全力を尽くしましょう。
はい、圭一くんの。すごいね。昨日は社会科見学様ご一行だったのに、今日はまるで雰囲気が違う。
そうだな。俺は人数が多けりゃ相手はビビるだろうくらいに思ってたが、これは迫力が違う。やはりハッタリって大事なんだなって思うぜ。
さあ、そろそろ時間よ。団長、決起の挨拶をお願いね。
団長なんてそんな恥ずかしい。俺なんて単なる発起人で。
ケイチ君、リーダーがそんなじゃ貫禄がないよ。さあ、胸を張って。
I walked out in front of everyone while Tomitake-san took pictures. Everyone went quiet and turned their gaze to me. I felt so nervous. But at the same time, I also felt really thrilled to see all of the comrades here.
みんな、今日は集まってくれてありがとう。すでに聞いてると思うが、俺たちのクラスメイト北条聡子が叔父に誘拐同然にさらわれてもう4日目。かつて気の向くままに聡子をいじめ、愛人のところへ1年間も蒸発していた叔父がどうして親権者なんて名乗れるのか。 児童相談所は直ちに状況を理解し、聡子に対する緊急保護を実施するべきである。だが児童相談所側は慎重な対応を理由に現状を放置。聡子が日々の窒息しそうな環境の中で心をすりつぶされていっている急を理解していない。俺たちはこれより3日目の陳情を決行し、児童相談所に改めて緊急の対応を求めるものである。
今日学校で聡子ちゃんの姿を見た人ならわかるはず。あの快活だった聡子ちゃんがたったの4日であんなにもやつれ果ててしまって、あんな姿をこれ以上放っておくなんて絶対にできない。これですでに3日連続、しかも人数はここまで膨れ上がった。相談所側に私たちの強い意志を訴えよう。私たちは仲間を見捨てたりしない。
すごいね。こいつは間違いなくダム戦争の再来だよ。
The return of the dam conflicts.
ダム戦争を知らないはずの前原くんがダム戦争を再びなんて面白いものね。やはりこの地には人を結束させたくなる何かがあるということなのかしら。
やっぱり田舎的な人懐っこい風土によるものだと思います。だから今日のこれは怒るべくして起こったんです。
僕たちは隣人の顔も覚えてない都会に住んでるけど、それと比べるとなんだか羨ましいね。
電車の本数が少ないと愚痴ってた人がよく言いますですよ。
人軍突撃準備完了。閣下はただここで死ねと飲み込命令を。
要求貫徹、絶対救出。みんな K に続け。
I like how those otakus sound. Everyone had that much vigor before we'd even enter the building. They had to have heard what was going on outside. In fact, panic-looking people were staring at us at the windows.
さあ参りましょう。
I mean, come on, man. The amount of people outside this, right? And they're gonna enter. Irie pushed me forward and I took the first step of her third attempt with a weight of 60 people on my shoulders. We went through the automatic doors and slowly crossed 20 meters to the counter.
これでならどうだ。一昨日は相談員、昨日は係長、なら今日は所長か。
わからない。
But are they gonna still show this though?
でもきっと私たちの強い意志は伝わるはずだよ。
こんにちは。今日はどのようなご用件でしょうか。
I like how the office worker is just like very silent in talking.
昨日と同じです。北条聡子の緊急対応を求めて陳情に参りました。
At the far end of the office, I saw the manager from yesterday talking to a guy sitting behind an unimportant looking desk. I could tell he was intimidated to see so many people. Shuyan said that this was the day we'd finally close the deal, but I couldn't be that optimistic yet. To be honest, our current numbers were probably the maximum number of people that I could get. So what would we do if things didn't work out today? I put up a brave front, but internally I was nearly cracking with anxiety. But looking at the hopeful, encouraging expression on Rena's face as she walked beside me helped disperse those timid feelings. Rena might hold the very same worries inside of her heart. Everyone must be wondering if we can really save Satoko or not. But today we were supporting each other by hiding those worries. That was unmistakably our team's strong point. We could never have gathered so much energy and strength if we were alone. That power can only be created when people work together. It takes forever for a drop of water to wear away at one rock, but a tsunami can break into pieces in a second. The manager approached a customer, or the counter, as a customer, the counter. He started speaking to me, saying that as the meeting room wasn't open today, he couldn't let us all into one room. However, the head of the office was willing to see us so we could use the reception area in the front of his desk. Since the room was small, however, he asked us to choose 3 representatives to come inside.
本当に申し訳ございません。他のお客様へのご配慮ということで、ご理解とご協力をいただけると助かるのですが。
I mean, this is obvious though. Like 60 people, right? And it's not just little kids anymore. Yeah, they're like big athletes. A lot of them now. We were here with all these people and they were only letting 3 of us inside. So it's gonna be Keiichi for sure, and then maybe 2 of the friends. I wanted to refuse the offer, but Mion told me to take it.
この人数で占拠すれば業務への支障を理由に上げ足を取られかねないしね。
Yeah, that is kinda true.
すでに十分インパクトを与えてる。向こうも施設長が直接話を聞くと言ってるし、これは向こうの最高の対応でもあるよ。
みんなガクガクブルブルでニャーニャーしてますですよ。
にゃーにゃー。でも会議室が空いてないってのは嘘くさいですけどね。
私も嘘だと思うな。でもみーちゃんの言う通り、これだけの人数で押しかけたというインパクトは十分与えたと思う。
所長さんはここの最高責任者です。それが話を聞くという例を尽くした以上、こちらにも多少の譲歩が必要かもしれませんね。
話し合いの場を設けたのに先方が席に着かなかった。そういう記録だけ残ると話し合いの余地なしってことにされてしまうわね。
部外者の意見で恐縮だけど、ここは話し合いに来ているということをアピールするべきだと思うな。
It was good to get suggestions from so many different people. If it was only me, I would have just gotten pissed off and left. That was probably not the best idea. Once again, I felt how important it was that we were a team.
わかりました。では代表3人ということにします。で、代表は誰にしよう？
Okay, so who is it gonna be then?
代表は圭一くんでいいと思うな。
I mean, obviously, Keiichi's number 1.
あと大人として監督とみーちゃんもついててくれれば文句なしかな。
Yeah, I guess Irie is okay. But Mion? Is it okay for Mion to go there though?
所長が私の顔を知ってたら園崎家の圧力ってことになっちゃう。
Yeah, like Mion can't because of the Sonozaki family. That's the thing.
今回の件は園崎家はノータッチなんで、そこを誤解させられない。
Yeah, as much as Mion wants to help, right? She just can't go there.
大人の事情でごめん。聡子を助けるのは私たちの戦いで、鬼ババとは何の関係もありませんからね。
I mean, can Shion go though?
ならレナさんはどうです？
Okay, not Shion. Rena.
ガツンと一発叩き込んでやってくださいよ。
I mean, Rena is good at talking as well.
私でもいいけど、リカちゃんはどう？
But yeah, you can also put Rika there because yeah, you can see that Satoko was living with Rika, right? The whole time this past year, right? Yeah.
ねえ、さとこちゃんの一番のお友達として代表に加わってもいいんじゃないかな。
Yeah, I think it's much better if it's Rika. Yeah. Irie, because he's a doctor, right? He was taking care of Satoko as well, so yeah. And then Rika, because she was living with Satoko and best friend as well. So yeah, it makes sense. Rika-chan is a quiet girl, so it'd be hard for them to understand what she's thinking. She's a quiet girl, but if she wants to talk, she will talk. However, she's Satoko's best friend. She had been living with her for the past year as if they were family. She has the strongest bond with Satoko out of any of us. True.
よし、俺と監督、そしてリカちゃんで行こ
了解。私はみんなをまとめるよ。
Mion winked at me and started explaining the situation to everyone else. Nice. Okay, I guess this is gonna be a long one. I mean, the talk with the head of this office, right? We will see. But yeah, it was nice though that everyone came here, right, for Satoko. But yeah, we'll take a break here. So yeah, it was not really a shock that Satoko came back to school because what do you call this? Teppei was pretty much being pushed into a corner now because people kept calling him, right? And then he really had no choice anymore but to let Satoko go to school. But as you can see, yes, Satoko is pretty much, yeah, she's broken. And she hadn't taken her shots as well, right? So let's see what happens in the next episode. Is this gonna be the one? This is the third time that they're going here, right? Third time's a charm. We're gonna have to find out, right? But yeah, it's Irie this time. He's here. So maybe he can talk sense to these people, right? So yeah, we're gonna continue this and do more of Higurashi When They Cry. Chapter 7, Minagoroshi in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye-bye.